Hi, my name is Lori Sheehan, and I'm a special educator at Fountain Green Elementary. I am working with a game called Roll and Read, as you can see. This game was something that we actually thought we created earlier last year by using just simply the numbers and then the word piles next to them. And then a colleague of mine had found this on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's much prettier, and the children seem to enjoy it better. As do I, because aesthetically it's much more pleasing. The reason why we use this game is to teach our children their sight words by just looking at them. It's kind of nice to have this in addition to the word walls so that they're not just having one thing to use for their sight word knowledge. They kind of use two. And knowing that 2/3 of the words that they're seeing through sight words are actually the ones that compose the reading that they're doing, it's important that they know these words on sight. So the idea of the game is to read off the words until you clear your board. So ideally you're going to play with 2 players, so that's why I have 2 sets here. In the beginning you will have sight words. This game was really nice because it gave you the lists of sight words. This is list number 9 on the adult sight word list and number 8, and you just cut them up and use the ones that work best for your students. When we ended the year, we had gone up to list number 4, so that's why you will see the number 4 on some of these. And then you have the number 3, and it goes down to 1 and 2. I like to use 1 and 2 as well because that gives the children some recognition of the words and helps them to feel more successful when they know the words, so that they're not always struggling to figure them out. So in the beginning you have your list of words, and they're cut up into little cards. You can do this with index cards or sticky notes, whatever you have on hand. If you don't have this, I like this because we could laminate it and then reuse it more and more. This has been with us for a year and a half now, and it looks pretty good. So and what you do is you would just pass them out to each student, and as they get them, they would just place them next to or on top of next to the numbers and just kind of create little piles. It's important that both students get the same amount of cards because the idea again is to clear the cards, and you want to make sure that it's fair and that each student has the same amount of cards. So after you pass them out, then the children take turns to roll. They have 1 die. You can use any kind of die you like. As a matter of fact, the one that we use with our students is really, really big, and they like that. So kind of having that tactile stuff going on as well is really fun, and they can use their fine motor and their large motor according to which pair of dice die you use. So ideally you just roll the die. There's a 6. You go down to the number and you pick the card. This one is blue. If I know it, then I'm going to put the card up top, and then it's my partner's turn. If I don't know it for some reason, then I just put it in the bottom of the stack, and then it's my partner's turn. You can play like this, or you can play where you continue on until a student misses a turn. I don't like playing that way because I like to have the children have more fair share of their turns, and I also like to build that confidence. So if I have a student that's constantly getting them all right and the other one's getting them all wrong, it kind of is more obvious when they take their turns sequentially as opposed to taking turns. So as they're reading, and they're going to have some cards come up, at some point you may have a number that is blank, but you roll a 5. You can play it any way that you like, but I like to do it so that the students, if they roll that 5, then they just choose from another pile. Because having said that, some of the piles might be quite long. The student hasn't rolled a 2 in quite a long time, but they have the 1 and the 5. So then you just choose from the 2 or whatever, with the object, of course, being to clear your card. Depending on the amount of time that you have, you may be able to finish in 1 class period, but if you don't, it's not a big deal. You just kind of I like to put the cards that they haven't finished into a baggie with their name on it. As you can see, there's Aaron. And I like to do this as well with the cards that he didn't know, so that it's kind of my little assessment to say, okay, Aaron knew these words, but he didn't know the ones that are in the bag. So I just kind of make a little notation of that, and then we either start over or we add another group of words to it. This is a really fun game to do in center time, or I do it as something fun that we do after LLI. We just kind of pull out the words and then go from there. You can make up your own words. If you know that a book that you're going to read has a lot of new vocabulary words, you can put it in that. Anything that you like that just kind of adds a little bit of fun. So again, this was found on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's called Dolch Read and Roll and Read. So if it's something that you find that would be helpful for you and your students, I encourage you to go do it. But if you don't feel like doing that, you can easily create your own game. All right, thanks. Bye.